Hello and welcome back to another poll video. Today it's poll 80 with the Wilderness, Tombs of Amascut and more. The and more part of it's actually quite interesting. We'll get to that soon. First up is Tombs of Amascut part. Now, a caveat here, I haven't actually done it, but reading through it, the changes seem quite nice. Question 1, should we make the change to the path of the monkey dude as outlined in poll 80? It's basically making it so there's less time in between the waves. Just speed things up, make it more smooth. Also, the volatile baboons can blow up other monkeys, it seems. Everyone seems happy with this. I don't see why it would be an issue, just making that path just smoother, feel better. I think that's quite a neat change. Question 2, should we make the Aka teleport after only damaging hit splats during the final phase? I mean, we all know it's frustrating when you hit a 0 and something teleports, or like the mole, it just digs away. I don't know if this would be missed hit splats or if a damaged hit splat counts as a 0, which can happen. But again, I feel like this would just make the whole thing just feel that bit smoother, which I'm always up for. There's some non-wilderness questions that I want to ask. What about the skill tab? Everyone's been wanting a skill tab update. Here's a little video of what they're proposing. So you can open it during an action and it won't interrupt it. Also looks like it's resizable. There's a little resize arrow there that's quite neat. And just this skill tab they're suggesting just looks so clean. I really like this. The one that we currently have is not good. Yeah, there's a video of them resizing it. Very nice. I think that's going to pass with flying colors. I want this bad. There's a lot of dead space there, as you can see, which, I don't know, I feel like they could do more with that. But a step in the right direction, in my opinion. Should we adjust the respawn time of Wintertop to always be 1 minute? It's currently random to prevent for third-party clients, but then they added a timer for their own. Yeah, just a set time would be nice. A minute might feel a bit long, but a minute between games, that's enough time to bank and resupply and everything. I think that's a good question there. Just improving, the little things. It always makes a difference. Dragonfire Shield. Should we change the Dragonfire's fiery attack to reward only defense experience in both PvM and PvP? If you didn't know, in PvM, if you use it, the special attack of the Dragonfire Shield, it gives magic, defense, and hit points, whereas in PvP, it only gives defense hit experience. So just, I don't know, unifying it across the board. The only people that would really use this would be like defense peels, I suppose, but I don't know, having it so there's just one set of rules for everything, that feels like quite a good change. We'll get more into that later with the wilderness and PvP changes. Quite exciting. Should we remove the magic immunity and just magic defense and remove the chip damage from Callisto? So right at the beginning of Callisto, there was a safe spot where you could mage it, so they made it immune to compensate for that. Well, they changed the room so you can't safe spot it and it's still immune to magic. They want to change it so you can mage it now, but they want to readjust the magic defense to compensate for that. That's cool. They're also asking to remove the chip damage from Callisto. Chip damage is always quite annoying. It's weird that they lumped 2 questions into one. I don't love that. I'd like to vote for 2 different questions. People have their opinion, but, again, I think this is a fairly good change. Just another option of how to kill Callisto. And chip damage, I mean, chip damage is awful. Let's be honest, it's not fun. Question 7, should we change the web wave bow special attack to consume 1 charge instead of 4? I don't see why it does consume 4 charges. That seems like a bit of an oversight. It's not a big deal at the end of the day. I think the ETH is around 200 gold each, so, I mean, the special attack costing 400 gold, that's kind of a bit steep, actually. So having it only consume 1 charge, again, it's just one set of rules across the board. Very nice. Random events. Should we remove random events spawning in the wilderness boss dungeons? Why are they spawning in there in the first place? That, again, just seems like huge oversight. You don't want clutter when you're doing a boss. That's silly. I think that's a good change. The Archy spellbook in PvP. They want to buff Mark of Darkness and Greater Corruption to both have a baseline 50% accuracy. Greater Corruption did have 66, so it is a bit of a nerf to that one, but they're doubling the prayer drain effect and making it a bit more like the charge spell. It's a cool little question there. If it encourages people to use a different spellbook in PvP, I think that's good. I don't know if people will use it over the standard spellbook with the fire surging. That always seems to hit insanely high, and barraging and whatnot with the ancient spellbook, everyone loves that. And I mean, this directly competing against 3 very powerful spellbooks, so I don't know, we'll see how that goes. There's more options at the end of the day. I think that's a good question. Lava dragons. Should we add installed heads to the lava dragon drop table? Again, this feels like another big oversight. It's a dragon. Why doesn't it drop an installed dragon head? Fine change. It'll make it so if you're doing lava dragons at the start of the account, they're slightly more profitable, and make it so if you PvP someone, if you kill someone, at the lava dragons, you get slightly higher drops. Very cool. Rogue's Chest. They want to rebalance the experience and gold that you get from it. It's currently quite poo. 330k an hour in gold terms. I mean, it's very deep in the wilderness. It's very hard to escape. I feel like it should be more rewarding. Just making deep wilderness content more rewarding. There are a few questions like that in this poll. I feel like that's always a good thing to aim for. Should we introduce this question 12? Should we introduce a toggleable option on the looting bag that would stop blighted supplies from automatically being added to the bag? Cool. You can already close your bag when you're picking up supplies and drops, to be fair. This just makes it so it's a little bit more customizable. Customize your bag a bit so you can just get it straight into your inventory. Neat little question. I could see that, again, this is a quality of life thing. It's not necessary, but it's nice. Is it too much quality of life? Probably not. Probably not. It's not going to affect anyone. Let's be real. It's a minor change. It might help someone. It might not help others. Who cares? Laryn's chest ladder. This one's weird. Should we, this question 13, should we remove freezes and binds on players if the player casting the spell has traveled up or down the ladder by the Laryn's chest? I get why. I get you're trying to encourage people to loot the Laryn's chest, but there can't be two sets of rules for the entire game. It should be one set of rules. This makes going into the wilderness more confusing than it has to be. Just all these little rules and whatnot going on. I don't love this question, to be honest. Again, I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to encourage people in there, but this does not feel like the right way to do it. There's plenty of other things they could adjust and change. Terrain, you know, you could add little hidey holes in those. I don't know. It feels like they can do a lot more before just adding another set of rules. Question 14, should we allow dwarven multicannons in PvP worlds? They wouldn't work in the places where looting bags work. I mean, it's an interesting question for sure. They say you can't use it where a looting bag works, but you could always just move to somewhere where a looting bag does work, possibly. I could see the benefits and the negatives of this. If you're in a PvP world, you're PvPing someone, you slap down multi-cannon on their head, that could be quite frustrating, let's be real. I don't have a strong opinion either way on this. I feel like this question's going to have very mixed responses, though. It's just my gut feeling, but interested to see where that goes for sure. Question 15, this was a near miss one. Should they enable the Vestas Longsword in combat, in PvP worlds, basically? So it'll lose all benefits against NPCs, so monsters and whatnot, turning into more of a cosmetic item. But if you PvP someone in a PvP world with a PvP item, they want to enable it. I think that's a good call. The Vestas Longsword, it's a good weapon. You get it through PvP. Why not let it be used in PvP? It missed by 0.4% last time, so I think, it's a cool little change. This is the other part they were talking about, a bunch of unpolled changes. These get cool. So they want to change the model of the Lava Dragon. This is the current one. This is the polled one. This is a very nice model. This is an old model. It's still quite nice. I like it. I wish it had more of these crusty lava bits on it. It doesn't feel hugely like a Lava Dragon. I also don't see a huge necessary change. I don't see that the change is necessary. I think this is a fantastic model. Why not save it for upcoming content? A new dragon. Reskin and make it a celestial dragon or something, or a gem dragon. I know they're in RS3, so, we could potentially get them and use a nice updated model. I don't know. It feels just so unnecessary. Does anyone have a problem with the old Lava Dragon model? I didn't. I think they're, they are what they are, sort of thing. Pyramid Plunder. This is an unpolled change for it. There was a bug where room 6 and onwards, you get a reduced chance of getting the scepter. They're just fixing it, so it's how it should have been in the first place. The blue dragon scales are being removed from the Nightmare Zone shop. It's because they introduced the scaly blue hide, similar to the egg sac with Xeracnus. They just want to make it so you can't just buy supplies from Nightmare Zone. Cool. I don't like the Nightmare Zone, to be honest. I think it should just be flat out removed, but we'll get there eventually. So with Wilderness Box reworks, they want to spice up the singles version a bit. They feel like it's too safe. They want to add a short teleport delay. That gets removed with the Wilderness Hard Diary, and they're removing the 1 tick delay when entering the cave. I don't know. I don't PvP very much, but it feels like, you just make the Wilderness harder for people that don't PvP. Some places are too safe, so I think this is an okay change. They're also spicing up their anti-botting software for the Wilderness bosses. Cool. I hear they're very botted at the moment, so get rid of the bots, please. They're changing the teleports in the Revenant Cave. So if you have the Wilderness Hard Diary, a teleport delay is removed. Cool. You're buffing the Wilderness Hard Diary. I don't see why not. That's cool. They're buffing the Wilderness boss loot table. So Scorpion's the first one up. you'll hear horror stories about Scorpio being woefully unprofitable. It's currently about 660k per hour. They want to buff it to 2 mil, so a bit over 3 times more. Good change. Scorpio sucks. They also want to change the Chaos Elementals drop table by removing some weaker drops, such as Bat Bones. How many people knew Chaos Elemental even dropped Bat Bones? It feels very outdated. I have heard a complaint that it is one of the early ways for Iron Man to get weapon poisons. So I think it'd be cool if that stays on, but see how that goes. Other than they're going back and just buffing weak drop tables, though. That's a cool little change. They want to effectively buff the drop tables of the trio bosses, the wilderness bosses in multis. I think that's fine. I hear that's quite unrewarding. So that's a cute little change there. Spindel had a bug where it could attack instantly after moving. They're just changing that. Bug fixes, cool. Major Arena capes. I want to make it so you can just make X instead of having to individually click it. Cool little change, just makes the game that bit easier. It's quality of life change, is what this is about. Repair costs, they're changing things for repair costs and the money that you get by killing someone that has that item. So all the untradables, the Void, the Elite Void, Fighter Sorcerer, Fire Cape, Infernal Cape, Avis Assembler, Dragon Defender, and a Avernic Defender. They're very expensive across the board now, although the Avernic Defender went down in price. The Void is crazy expensive. I don't know. Again, I have no strong opinion on that because I don't PvP. Is this a big deal? It'll make it so it's more profitable to kill people with these untradables that they don't lose. Cool. Apparently the Avernic Defender I was overpriced, so they're reducing it back down. Just having it more in line with where they want it. Very cool. Money chests are being buffed because they want to make those more profitable. No one opens money chests except for the diary, let's be real. The Wilderness Diary reward, though, currently it's god-awful. You get some random runes from some dude deep in the wilderness. Well, they want to change it and increase the runes by 4 times and give the players a chance of receiving all kinds of runes. I think that's a fine change. I think a better change would be let you choose the type of runes that you get daily. I think this way is just... It feels like Band-Aid option. It feels like a half-thought-out option. I think the diary could just be... That specific reward could be better than they are buffing it to. They want to change some Blighted Magic sacks. So they want to change the Wave and the Surges, so it gives access to all the Wave and Surge spells, instead of just, I believe it's Fire. They also want to change the Bind and Snare and Entangle sacks into just 1 sack. Cool. Take up less inventory space, have less items floating around in the game. You still need the appropriate magic level to cast each spell, but very nice. The Revenant Shortcut, the shortcut in the Revenant Cage. Currently, if you're frozen or snared, you can hop over it. They want to change it so you need to wait up to 3 ticks after you thaw or get untangled to cross the shortcut. I mean, sure, PvPers could also just get the level, the agility level. I don't see why that's a big deal to begin with. They're re-enabling the scrying pool. It's been disabled for the longest time. Scrying pool, if you don't know, you make it in your player-owned house in the middle of a portal chamber. So they're re-enabling that. You can check out where you're going before you go there. Cool. I've got nothing for that. Sure, you're re-enabling old content that was disabled that you haven't fixed yet. Very nice. There were recently some holiday items that were guaranteed to hit 0. There was unintended behavior, so it was removed. People said, why? Why did you remove it? Just add it back, you nerds. So they did. And that's kind of it. It's a pretty good poll. Let's get little changes. The next one up on the list, the next poll up on the list is some changes of Xeric changes. Very cool. I like this poll. There's a lot going on in it. Lots of unpolled changes. I don't mind that. I would like to see the dev team step up a bit more and poll and just do things that aren't polled. Sorry. This Lava Dragon change I don't love. I feel like graphic changes like this should be polled. That's about it. That's all I got. Go vote. Skipping a question is also a valid vote, so do that if you need to. Well, thanks, champions. Till next time. Bye. Also, like and subscribe if you like this content. Thank you.